Wow, guys. We're starting a bit late today. Yes, I've been committed to other things. Here I am here now. Amazing game. Kieran Pollard, what a champion. Thanks, SS. I'm here now. And SS Mook said that's right. We have a program worth talking about. We're going to have a good long chat today. We'll have probably Tabashis and the likes of Keshav there as well. We may have more. Let's hope. Great session, guys. What a match. The Mumbai Indians, Kieran Pollard, able to not run on two balls in the last over and still be able to win a match like that. That was fabulous. What box office, what theatre. Kieran Pollard's worth every single cent that he's paid. Not like Chris Morrison, Richardson and Meredith. There's no doubt that every single cent that Pollard's worth is worth his weight in gold. It really, it's worth your weight in gold. So, official Sai, I hope you're still there. Bill at Studio, SS, Ismooks, I'm here. I'm here a bit late. I apologise, but it's worth waiting for. We're going to have that. We go for an hour or two anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to try and get people to come on now. It's late. We've got a double header tomorrow. And we've got a double header. I think Rajasthan Royals versus Sunrise Hyderabad. Two of the cellar dwellers are playing tomorrow in Delhi. Should be pretty high scoring, but even if SRH play well. In fact, if you read the actual media release that's come out today on Sunrise Hyderabad, I'll read it out if you like, guys. Just have a quick read of it. I'll just tell you, I read it out a short while ago. Let me read it out to you. So this is the Sunrise Hyderabad press release, probably written by the likes of Trevor Bales. Keshav will be here. I'll just see whether Keshav's coming. But I'll read the media release out for you while we're waiting. Okay, you ready for this? Sunrise Hyderabad would like to announce that Kane Williamson will be taking over the captaincy for tomorrow's match and for the remainder of the IPL 2021. So an emphatic statement saying, Warner out, Williamson in. No, Warner's decided to leave. Warner's happy to have left, blah, blah, blah. He's been told to leave, and Williamson's in. Management decision. He's been sacked, dropped. No other way you can read it. The team management has also made the decision that they will be changing their overseas combination for tomorrow's match against Rajasthan Royals. What does that mean? You're going to bring Jason Holder in and maybe Jason Roy, the two Jasons, and obviously Kevin Williamson because he's the captain. And you can't drop the likes of a Russian Khan, can you? So that tells me that Warner's dropped. I think there's a very good chance that Warner's dropped. The decision has not come lightly as the management respects the enormous impact David Warner has had for the franchise over a number of years. As we face the remainder of the season, we are sure David will continue to help us strive for success both on and off the field. What does that say? That tells me that that's the last game for Warner. So they're saying that Williamson's in, Warner's out. They're saying that they're going to change the overseas players for the next game. Blind Freddie will tell me that means that they're going to drop somebody. They're not dropping Williamson. They're not dropping Rashid. They need Holder in the side. And Roy. Besso, I should say. Besso, Williamson, Rashid are staying. And they're going to need more bowling depth, Holder. And maybe Roy. So out of those five, there's no room for Warner. So they gave enough inference to say that he's not playing. Harsha Trader's welcome as well. So there's some pretty significant moments in that particular document. And rightfully so. If you have it's not only 5 bad matches for Warner, it's his demeanour as a captain, not reading out the team sheet, who is the 4 new players, telling people that the selectors have made the decision, not him. I think he said that 3 times in total, the whole... If he said it once, I'd flick him as captain. Horrible PR, public relations for the team. So Chris Vernon's not here at the moment. I wish you guys would start asking where are people. They're going to come if they are. You can't have them coming every single day. All right, can't happen. I'm just going to check where people are. I'm just going to see where people are. So the real reality is that you've got quite a few in moments in this particular series that are interesting, really interesting. Look, I might actually see if I can get David Gravity as well. So Keshav's coming. Don't worry, he'll be here very soon. I want to see what I can get. Just get some people here. Okay. I must say, guys, that this was worthy of a final. Worthy of a final. And we're going to see these teams as well. We're going to be certainly seeing a lot of how can I put it? A lot of emphasis on this match in the replays. This is a replay out of replays. Really amazing. All right, so we've got just got to find whether we can get David Gravity for a minute. David Gravity is someone who I would like to have come. He's a great man. All right, so I'll just get them in there. I'll get some people on here. Let me have a look. I'm just sending an email to a few people. Look, guys, it's late. I know that. I'm going to be careful. I can't expect people to all join, every time. The fact is, it's it's one of those things where you can't have it. But I've got a lot to say to you guys today. So I've got a lot to say to you about a lot of things, especially the update on Australia too. You've probably seen my video on, in fact, who has how Australia. Let me just update you on Australia for a moment. You know that Australia's had something like, especially Sydney, but in fact all of Australia's had close to 100+ days of zero COVID cases, COVID-free for some 100 days. So we no longer wear masks. Social distancing is not enforced. All events, whether it's indoors, outdoors, nightclubs, restaurants, indoor events, casinos, movies, parties, whatever it might be, they're all openly allowed to be as they normally would be under normal circumstances. You have buses, trains, Ubers. There's no need to even worry about that. The reality is you've had a situation where we are back to normality here. We've got a travel bubble between New Zealand and Australia. Cook Islands slipped into that as well, but they shouldn't have, but they did. They've had zero cases. So the man went from Cook Islands to New Zealand to Australia without going through quarantine. We kicked up a stink about that, to be honest. And ultimately, that was not a good thing. But that doesn't mean that we just take it easy and relax and allow everybody in. We're very strict. In fact, we're ultra strict. And the cases in particular with India. All flights from India to Australia are banned. And if people come to Australia, they would normally now go to Darwin, the Northern Territory, to substandard accommodation, to be honest with you. No air conditioning, rather, and it's quite hot there, where they're kept for quarantine, isolated in a way which is quite effective in the fact that we know movements with the COVID there. So that's what we're doing. But we're banning Indian flights from May 1st, which is effectively yesterday now, but today, until May 15th with a review at that time. If anyone Australian comes home as an expat or whatever, they can be Indian derivation or not, from India to Australia now, and they enter the country and they're caught or lying on coming in the country without telling, they will be subjected to the following penalties. Also, they could also be subjected to a $66,000 Australian dollar, that is, fine, which is around 3.8 million rupees. So either and or of those two situations, or in fact both. Quite our so-called Josh Frydenberg, who often acts as the country's prime minister, also as our treasurer, assistant, or deputy prime minister, made that media release again later in the day, clarified a few mistakes that were made by some of the public about that. Very adamant about that. So, if an Indian, more so, let's say Australian, of Indian derivation, or anyone who's been to India, say they go through India to Sri Lanka, or India to Malaysia, or India to Singapore, or India to New Zealand, and attempt then to enter Australia and make out with their Australian passport that they didn't have any time in India and are found out, will have this potential penalty or set of conditions instilled on them. So those that are trying to get to Australia via New Zealand, where it's also zero COVID, and have a travel bubble to Australia, will in fact be affected. Very much so. Thanks for joining us. You're wearing Australian colours.
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm sorry I got a bit late, but I just finished my own show as well.
Don't worry, I was on extra time. So we were in the same boat. I was just talking a lot about. In fact, you sent me the CSH, sorry, the SRH, so-called. But I was talking about that. I'll go back over that territory a bit, Kesha. You know how damning I am about Warner. I've talked to you about that publicly before. And if you read that statement very, very carefully, what it says is Warner has been sacked or dropped, not just from the captaincy, but from the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they say in the second paragraph, we're looking at our overseas players, without mentioning Warner's name in the first two paragraphs, they're saying, well, we've not only got rid of him as captain, he's also been dropped from the side. And we thank him for all the efforts he's done, blah, 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 the usual mumbo jumbo, and hope that he helps us on and off the field. That is the most damning set of paragraphs. What they're saying in simple English is Dave Warner's lost the captaincy. He's also been dropped from the side. We hope he doesn't have a tantrum off the field and does things for us. Because I can assure you, if the media management, if the social media platform were to have witnessed Warner's conversation, his bat would have been flung into a wall. Williamson, they would have been fighting. Bayless would have been angry with him. Bayless would have said, you're dropped. So there's no Warner coming out in the press and saying, guys, I've decided to not be captain. I've decided to allow Williamson to play. None of that. Actually, it was very blunt. Very blunt.
I think the ownership might have got involved because the team was not doing well. I mean, they've lost 5 out of 6. And this was a team which was actually being rated as one of the better ones this year. And everyone had put SRH in their top 4 in the predictions. And they're at the bottom. But do you think it's too late, or is it they still have got time at their hands to come back?
It's mathematically possible, yes, but very unlikely. I mean, they're playing Rajasthan Royals tomorrow. If SRH stump Rajasthan Royals, I'm not going to get too excited. I mean, after today's performance, Mumbai Indians and CSK and Delhi and RCB deserve to be in the top 4 by far. Yeah. And it's not so much the bottom teams playing well and getting in. They have to win. All the bottom 4 teams have to win about what? 5 or 6 of the last 7 matches, if not 7, really. I mean, SRH has to win every match, okay, if they've got a chance. And they won't be doing it with Warner because he's dropped. They're going to have Jason Holder on that side and or Jason Roy, okay? That's very clear. Because Williamson and Bairstow and Rashid Khan are not dropped, correct?
Yeah, maybe there is a bleak chance for Mohammad Nabi, but it depends on the conditions as well.
But what I'm getting at is there's no Warner in that mix.
Yeah, absolutely not. Because when I sent you that post in the morning, I had sent it to a couple of other people, and they actually didn't really realize the hidden meaning in the second paragraph. Because then I had to tell them, look, they have clearly mentioned that going forward, we will be changing our foreign players combination. So when they say that, of course, you cannot drop Williamson, you can't drop Best or Rashid. So Warner is the only one.
It was the most pathetic way of saying he's been dropped altogether.
Yeah, and then the last part of that post was kind of making up for it.
But still saying on or off the field.
Yeah.
Why do you need to say off the field? Because he's not going to be on the field. But I'm not bragging, but have I been saying this from day one?
Yeah, I mean, we all pointed out, you also pointed out that there have been some sort of clashes between management and Warner, because publicly a couple of times he actually criticized them for dropping Manish Pandey. He said that it wasn't my call, it was a selector's call.
And the most damaging one was not naming the 4 new players to a team and telling us to go read the team sheet.
Yeah.
But Bayliss is a very clever man. Bayliss is behind this media release because Bayliss would have said, "Hey, Warner, on your bike." That would have been the word. He would, and Warner would have been saying, "I'm the captain. I'm staying over my dead body." And Bayliss would have said, "You on your bike," and it would have taken.
Do you think this was more of a Bayliss call or maybe a Tom Moody call?
No, Bayliss. This smacks of Bayliss. Bayliss is a very uncompromising guy when someone's got ticked him off. Moody's not quite that strong. Luxman wouldn't have been able to do it either. It's Bayliss. I know Trevor Bayliss really well. Trevor Bayliss is an incredible guy. I remember when I was in Sri Lanka and he was sitting there we had an interview with Sangakkara and Bayliss, right? And after the interview, Bayliss is swearing with Sangakkara. Well, Sangakkara wasn't swearing, but Bayliss is going, "That bloody president, he's changed the whole frickin' side." Right? You know, he's straight to the point. He picked his side. It was changed by the president. He was fuming, and he didn't hold back. But Bayliss is an incredible, incredible coach. We know he's done wonders with England over the years. He should be coaching Australia. From what Miles.
He was also coaching KKR when they won a season, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he's a brilliant coach. Trust me. He's been great in New South Wales. He's great in Australian colours. He's great. And it took a Trevor Bayliss-like character to stand up to Warner and say, "Right, on your bike." And Warner would have been.
How come he hasn't really applied for Australian coaching?
Well, he's probably getting paid more playing for the overseas coaches position. I don't know. I think, in fact, the other countries got him first. To be honest with you.
And maybe after Langer goes.
Sorry.
Maybe after Justin Langer goes, the next one, maybe?
Yeah. Justin Langer is a lovely bloke, but he's not a good coach. He micromanages too much. He overdoes things. He overemphasizes.
Who do you think will overtake him? Gillespie, Ponting, or Bayliss, or any other?
Well, if Trevor Bayliss is not under contract with someone, he should. Ricky Ponting, if he's not under contract, would as well. Jason Gillespie, he's actually got a rare level 4 coaching certification. Most of the top coaches got level 3. Again, Jason Gillespie and I, we had a function in at Hove a couple of years ago when I was on tour, and he was there, and we had a very close chat with him. Great guy. He is also one, but one of those 3, I would say Bayliss. It's all about availability. If they're under contract to England or wherever or whatever franchise, I don't know whether Justin Langer is allowed to be an IPL coach, for example. Okay, and I'm going to guess that the coaches of the IPL sides are getting paid as much money as some of the best batters or best players. So if you're going to coach the IPL for a few months, you're probably making more money than you're going to coach the country, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, look, I was talking more about the coach.
Shane Warne can't coach Australia in coming years?
No, I doubt. I don't think he wants to. He certainly should. He'd prefer to be a bowling coach of the world, and he probably gets paid more money from his commentating or whatever else. So he could easily be. He would be a great coach. Absolutely. Justin Langer on paper looks like a great coach, but he's far too hard. Far too hard on him. But at least
all he talked about was elite, honestly.
I mean, you got to give it to Justin Langer and the Australian team for allowing cameras in, boots and all, to the dressing room over previous series, when in fact the Amazon videos showed the roots and all, the boots and all, the anger, the frustrations, the whole thing. But the IPL never, none of those 8 IPLs will ever show dissension. But as you know, what I say, we don't need some glossy social media page. We need someone like me to tell them right here what the truth is, and also go to the damn dugouts. And I'm going to get to Busters, and I think I told you last time, a video of all the dugout byplay. That actually, the byplay of SRH's dugout over the last few weeks would be the best. If you would dissect them and zoom in on the cameras, you'll see a lot of good stuff there. Because that's where the reality happens. They can't hide it.
This comment just came in Hindi from Bilal's studio. He says that why do you guys put a cap at this hour indoors? I mean, you should get your hair, get some wind.
Some what?
You should let your hair get some air.
I'm calling a spade because we need to hear it. Don't you agree?
Yeah. So did you talk about today's game before I came, or you are yet to?
No, not yet. No, not yet. So I mean, obviously, in part, I did, yes, but it was probably the best game. It was the best game of the tournament. The performance of Pollard was top shelf box office. He scored 87 odd runs in a manner that no one else could. The last over was horrible. I think they were playing baseball, not cricket. You know, the ball can bounce. You know, they were pretty awful deliveries, and they won. He won without even scoring off 2. He didn't bother to run off 2. Magnificent play.
If I ask you, what do you think is the reason behind CSK loss? Did they not score enough on that pitch, or did they bowl too bad?
They scored enough. In the end, they scored enough. Right?
Because at interval, Brett Lee said they are 20 short.
No. That last over should not have gone for as many runs as it did. Okay? The reality is that, okay, they batted poorly in the middle section there. They lost a few wickets, and the Rayudu made up for it. Really, that was enough. If they bowled, well, look at some of the bowling efforts of that. Again, we've got, for example, let me have a look here. Why did Moeen Ali only bowl 1 over?
Because of
1 for 1. 1 for 1 off 1.
I know.
1 for 1 off 1.
I know, but people these days are big on matchups. I mean, they probably thought that Pollard's record against off spin is really good, so let's not bring Moeen back.
Why couldn't he bowl earlier?
Earlier, they just brought him to get rid of Quinton de Kock, and he did his job.
Yeah, but hang on. No, that's not his job. His job is when you have form on your side, when you take a wicket and you go 1 for 1, you bowl at least 2, 3, 4 more. You know, you bowl more. Come on, you can't tell me that's enough. That's not true. He should have bowled more. Sam Curran bowled fantastically. Nagiti was awful, absolutely awful. Drop him straight away. Deepak Chahar injured himself, but he still bowled his 4 overs. Jadeja's only bowled 3. Yeah, I think that perhaps they got that wrong a little bit. I mean, the reality was you can't say that they needed to score 20 more runs. No, Kieran Pollard would have got 20 more.
You forgot Shardul Thakur.
Sorry?
You forgot Shardul Thakur. He also was very expensive.
I still like him. I still rate him. I still would have him on the side. So I'm not getting rid of him by any means because he can do it when it counts. Trust me. Today he didn't. He still took a wicket.
It's not just today. The whole IPL he has been disappointing.
Yeah, but I think there's more ability there than not. Okay, but I think next game, there's a chance. Well, my thoughts are out on Tucker at the moment. I'm not as heavy on him. Ngidi was disgraceful.
Would you bring Jason Behrendorff?
Yeah, good chance.
Do you rate him?
Well, why not? You just brought him all the way from Australia to put him on ice.
But no.
Really?
No. But do you think he's your answer for the death overs? I mean, he could be a good new ball bowler, but in death.
He's a very good bowler, an excellent bowler.
In death.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He's a very good bowler. No doubt about that at all.
Have you seen him bowl good at death in BBL?
Sorry?
Have you seen him bowl good at death in BBL?
Many times. And for Australia. Okay? Mitchell Marsh, I would never have rated Behrendorff behind Marsh, even though he's got a batting ability, yes, but no. I've seen Behrendorff bowl very well.
I'll put you on spot here. So you said the score was good. What Chennai got, 218 was
good enough.
Yeah. So now I'll ask you, what about Jadeja? I mean, he played a run-a-ball innings on that flat surface. Would you say that if he would have played a bit better, then the score would have actually gone to par and maybe a winning score?
No. His job was to support Rayudu. He played it perfectly. Okay?
No, but even then, on a flat pitch like that, you don't play with 100 strike rate.
No, I don't agree. Because someone had to back Rayudu up, okay? And I think he was trying to make sure no more wickets were falling, and he let Rayudu go for it. Okay, I don't know how many singles. Jadeja is all class. He knew exactly what he was doing. He did it perfectly. He measured.
I thought he struggled to get timing today with the bat because his first run came on the 5th ball. He had 5 dot balls.
A few games ago, Jadeja absolutely nailed it. So let's not go down on that.
Exactly. That's why. If he can score 37 of 1 over, now on a pitch which is even better for batting, he's scoring just run a ball. I think that's where the difference was.
I mean, no. But the overall team got 10.9 runs per over. That's your strike rate of the whole team. Okay? So that's what you have to take into account. It is not unusual for some batters, even if they're not playing well, you're saying, to let the other batter take the strike. So no, I don't think that you can't say that's where they lost it. That's not possible.
I get your point. No, but the thing is, see, how the important partnership for CSK was Jadeja and Raidu, right? For Mumbai, it was Pollard and Krunal Pandya, the two main partnerships of the game. So if you see, Krunal and Raidu was head-to-head, both the knocks. But what Krunal did for them, it was not a run-a-ball innings. If Krunal would have played a run-a-ball knock like that, because he was also playing the second foil, Mumbai wouldn't have chased it down.
Krunal only got 30 to 23. It wasn't overwhelmingly different. No, I don't agree with you at all. I think that Jadeja knew exactly what he was doing. His job was to make sure Rhoda went crazy, which he did. Okay? So I think of Jadeja, sometimes when both batters go crazy, there's no doubt the other batter who has been going crazy loses his momentum. It's actually quite dangerous. If you're partnering a guy that's going for it, you get off strike. Okay?
Yeah, but don't you think the depth in CSK's batting lineup, Dhoni and Karan were still to come? Jadeja could have also taken chances from the other end.
I actually don't think they wanted to lose any more wickets, to be honest.
But why? They had so many batsmen left in the kitty.
When Jadeja came in, when the score was 6 for 203. When did he come in?
No. Jadeja came before.
Let me have a look. Anyway, I think I don't agree with you at all. I don't think it's the innings of Jadeja was fine. I don't think it was one.
I heard Dhoni's post-match interview after the game. So he said when we got that amount of score on a pitch, so we have to understand that the pitch was that easy to bat on, so that the opposition can also actually chase them. It won't be a one-sided affair.
I don't agree. Because you know why? Because the last over in Ngidi was absolutely crap. Full tosses.
But hang
on. They could have won that match in that last over had they bowled better. Okay? You can't blame the pitcher. You don't even pitch it on the pitch. They could have played on the worst pitch in the world. So no, I don't. No, you're harping on a point. Even though Johnny said that, they lost the game because Pollard came out and did better. Okay, Pollard's innings was phenomenal. Okay, realistically, there were a couple of catches that were dropped, albeit hard. Bad bowling. Sam Curran played really well.
Yeah, one thing is for sure that Chennai doesn't have good enough bowling to defend scores. I mean, this was 219, which they couldn't defend. Just think about if they had scored like 180, 190. They don't have bowlers for defending that sort of target. They're sitting out Bravo, Imran Tahir, who are actually better bowlers.
I can't believe you're so damning as CSK when the last couple of days you've been saying CSK, CSK, CSK. Now they lose. You're doing a typically bloody Indian thing. You're dissecting them like no.
Even when they were winning, we knew that their bowling is a problem. Batting is actually good.
I heard none of this I heard none of this the last few matches. So I'm sorry. Let me be really honest with you. You're doing a typically Indian thing, which is to bag a team when they lose and find fault somewhere. No. CSK are a top 2-3 side.
Why wouldn't I try to find fault somewhere if the team has lost? This was a winnable game for them, and yet they lost it. I will have to find some reasons, isn't it?
No, but you can't pinpoint on Jadeja. Sorry.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying he's the only culprit. Actually, if there is a culprit, it was Faf du Plessis dropping that catch. He actually dropped that match.
Well, the reality is they were on the back foot immediately because they were batting first. CSK would have been better off batting second. Okay, that's the reality. I really think that's.
Rohit won the toss. He said this pitch gets better chasing. So that's where I think he was right.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been a different match if CSK better second. Anyway, I'm very impressed with CSK all around. Okay, it's not a matter of. It's more that Pollard arrested the results. Pollard got in there and says, "I'm going to score today." He scored. He also bowled well too. He took two wickets. He bowled well. And he didn't even bowl 4 overs either. Moeen Ali, even though you would say that there was danger having him bowl the last over, Moeen Ali is clever enough a bowler that he could have actually got away with that at the end. I really think that. But Pollard, he scares the living daylights out of me when he walks in the back. He's a colossus.
Right now we are going gaga over that innings, but what if Faf would have taken that catch? They would have actually probably not finished the game.
He didn't. So what are we talking about it for?
Yeah, it's kind of like if CSK would have won the game, we would have been actually talking about Raidu's knock more than Pollard's.
Exactly. I feel sorry Raidu because he actually deserved to be man of the match today. Because CSK were actually in a pretty bad position when he came in. They weren't flying. They lost a few wickets in a row. So look, both sides played. It was a great match.
Just to think, the quality of innings that Pollard and Raidu played was so high that we are not even actually talking about Moeen Ali and Faf du Plessis' 50s. They also scored 50s, and we don't even talk about that because of the standard that was set.
Yeah, but the reality is, if you were to pay money to watch that match, who would you most want to watch today?
Sorry, what?
If someone said to you, you paid your money to come to the game today, who would you say you paid your money to watch to come play today? Pollard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, now you can say that, yes, Pollard, because MI won the game on the last ball. But what if they would have actually lost it on the last ball?
What if the moon was blue? What if the I mean, I don't. You know what? I have pet hates. What ifs are useless because it happened. Okay, in 10 years' time, no one's going to be saying a catch dropped there. They're going to say, "Look at Pollard's score." Okay, that's the fact of it.
Okay, just as a neutral perspective, which innings would you rate higher, Raidu or Pollard?
Oh, what sort of question is that?
No. I'm saying irrespective of the result, like just the batting class, which
I mean, Pollard. was made easier for Pollard somewhat because of the bad bowling the last over. He was gifted balls down the leg side that were full, and he had to sort of clip it and glance it. But the importance of Pollard in that last over. In fact, if you were to swap the players around and have Pollard batting in Rahul's position and Rahul batting in Pollard's position, I don't think Rahul would have done the same thing.
Yeah, and see, with Raidu, the thing is, he was actually facing a much better attack. I mean, if you have
no, but he was also under no pressure. He's batting first. He had no total to chase down.
That's true. But the difference
no, they can't. I'm sorry, you can't compare someone that's batting first with no pressure in a team position where the score was low and had freedom to go for it, compared to someone who hasn't scored to chase down.
Yeah, I agree. But when Raidu came, they had just lost Moeen and Faf together, and even Raina got out early, so they had to rebuild from that situation. You can't say he was completely out of pressure. There was some pressure, maybe not as much as Pollard's, but there was pressure even when Raidu came. He had to rebuild.
I'm not going to answer you. I'm going to let Andre Proudfoot answer you.
I'm happy with the game. I mean, as a CSK fan, I'm heartbroken, but as a neutral, I'm happy with the game that we watched tonight.
But you're not neutral. You're not neutral. What are you? You're not on my show to say you're neutral. I don't want you to be neutral. That's boring. Okay, you're having a whinge because CSK lost. Let's be honest. Okay, you are. Face the fact that Pollard smacked your bottom. Okay?
I know.
Pollard is a scary dude. Whether it's Carlos Braithwaite winning a World Cup or a Viv Richards or an Andre Russell, West Indian batsmen are box office. They're the top shelf of batters in a final. I'd have any of those over anyone else. Right? Maybe Chris Len's in that same bracket. Well, Warner, not anymore. Warner's been given the biggest slap in the face today, and deservedly so. And I said that back in the beginning when he made his first comment about 4 players, go and look at the team sheet. I would have had the statement go out the next day when that happened. Okay? They gave him a wide berth. He did it 2 or 3 more times. Enough. Trevor Bales would have warned him after that and said, not again. And he did it, right, out. That press release says so many things, doesn't it? It screams out. It's actually beautifully written in terms of slamming. What's his name? So you watch. Warner would be trying to go to the airport now, and he'd be told, "Sorry, mate," and he would go, "I don't care about the $66,000 fine. I want to go," and he'd be saying, "No, mate, you're not leaving." Okay.
So, do you think next game they would drop Ngidi or they'll give him another chance, as CSK is known to giving 1 chance is too many rather than 1 less?
I'd drop him. It was awful. Absolutely awful. No, I'm sorry. It's inexcusable. With Meredith and Richardson, they were both dropped similarly. Meredith got back in. He played all right the last match. He's basically... He played all right, but he's still not good enough.
So, would you bring in Bravo or Behrendorff?
Who was the first?
Bravo?
Behrendorff.
Okay.
Bravo's, I think, on the outer a bit at the moment. And for the SRH, I'd bring in Holder and Warner would go.
Not Roy?
Well, Holder gives you a bowling option. And he's a captaincy style player as well. He and Williams would get along fine. And on top of that, he bats pretty well. So he bowls well. Roy would certainly be there, yes. If it's like for Warner, maybe they'll do that. But it doesn't matter. It'll be Roy or Holder.
But I think knowing Trevor Bayliss, I mean, he was the one who groomed Roy and Bairstow together at England as the openers. So maybe he would want them to be here for SRH as well.
So how well do you know Bayliss?
Knowing Bayliss, I don't know him like you do.
Okay. I reckon he's going to put Holder in.
Okay.
They may, because if they put Roy in, they're actually not changing anything other than the captaincy, right? Because you would argue Warner and Roy, I mean, Warner's got a couple of scores this season. It's not about he's not dropped because of his batting. He's dropped because of his captaincy and the role that he's played. Okay? Because his batting, even in the last match, was admirable. It wasn't great, but it was admirable. So he's not being dropped because of his batting. It's because of his captaincy.
So if you won't bring in Roy, would you open with Williamson and Bairstow?
Possibly. If Holder's down the order, yeah, because Holder can bat. Holder can really bat. Yeah. He can do a Pollard to an extent. He's done it. So I think they're not losing by having Pollard there. Whereas Roy, well, I don't think he can bat down the order. He's an opener. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. But they've got a few games. They might try Roy as well. Who knows? But
there's a question that says why Josh Hazelwood ditched CSK.
He didn't come at all.
That's why he's asking.
No, look, I commend Stark Hazelwood. Really, they needed a break. Mitchell Stark's gone with his wife, Alyssa Healy, off on a 6-week holiday. Greg Healy told me the other day. Yeah, they need a break probably. They got a World Cup. They've got a Ashes series. They got a home World Cup coming as well after that. They got a fair bit on. And don't worry, they're not poor. They're not poor, those guys. They've got, $10+ million houses. Pat Cummings bought one for 9.5, $4 million more than anyone else in the street. He bought a house which is attached to the one next door for $4 million more than anyone else in the street. Come on, that's a bit. Well, it's actually really annoying because he's just ruined that area's pricing levels because they've all been. They've got a new benchmark, and all the neighbours will now start selling their place at the same price. So
and then on the top of all of it, he goes on to donate just $50,000 and shows off about it.
Tokenism, and then what's his name? The other bloody Brett Lee's Bitcoin. Oh my god! And Indian players have done it too, but they're not bragging.
Yeah,
we know that $50,000 has come from his IPL purse. We know it hasn't even touched his hands. It's like you saying, "Hey, mate, over there, pay the other guy money." It's not touching his hands. It's not his money.
I think Rajasthan franchisee has donated a big amount together.
Yeah, but they're not bragging about it.
Yeah.
And the press are finding these other people now. They're finding them out of the woodwork because they're going looking for them. But realistically, none of them have come forward. Anyway, Pat Cummins came out with a nice big statement that he was involved with writing. Today's Warner one was not written by Warner, I can assure you. David Warner had nothing to do with that media release. Oh.
Hitesh says not David Warner can easily make TikTok videos in India.
What?
Hitesh, he says now David Warner can easily make TikTok videos in India.
He's got to go home and deal with his multi-million-dollar property that's still not finished after 6 years. Maybe that might be where he needs to concentrate. I mean, look, don't worry. This will get back to him. He'll be, when I see him in the streets of Coogee when he gets back, I'll get an earful from him. Don't worry. He'll give me an earful. I'll give it straight back.
So do you think now Warner, right now, of course, he'll be dropped, but he wouldn't actually make a comeback as well in the tournament later on?
Well, the severity of that statement, right, was quite damning. I'd actually say that Warner spat the dummy and doesn't want to play anymore, to be honest. And what the media release has done is come on the front foot and said, no, he hasn't spat. He hasn't left. We've got rid of him.
So I think that also tells you that probably SRH will not retain Warner next year.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't think now he cares too much.
And
nor do they say.
Williamson would definitely be retained next year then.
No, I mean, that's it. That's done. It's fait accompli. Somebody like Raj, some silly team like Rajasthan Royals will pick him up for a swilling clause next season. And, David Warner should never captain the side, full stop. I'm sorry. With that attitude, no good captain does what he did this series. No good captain. No.
So, do you see this coming for KKR as well if they keep on losing?
I reckon that they're going to act on Alan Morgan pretty quickly, yeah. Because now the precedence has been set. If they get rid of Alan Morgan, they won't look so bad. Why? Because it's already happened with SRH. So the timing of this is good for Owen Morgan's. If Owen Morgan was smart, he would leave.
But SRH still had the option of going to Williamson. Who does KKR have? Could they go back to DK again? I mean, last year they just left him.
I don't know. I can't give you the answer. I haven't thought that through who would replace Owen Morgan. That's probably the reason why they're not doing it. But they've got to do it.
Because there's no other captaincy material in that team. Maybe Shakib Al Hasan, but I don't think he. Only other international captain is Shakib, isn't it?
They could go back to Kartik.
But that's like 2 steps backwards. I mean, last year they just dropped.
Williamson was captain before Warner, wasn't he?
But Williamson did well for them. But Kartik is.
No, I think that's. Is it 2 steps back? Not necessarily. We've talked a lot about Indian players being captains of the side over non-Indians. So I don't think it's. Owen Morgan's got the decency to not be offended by that, to be honest. I don't think he'd be offended. Owen Morgan said, right, if that's good enough for the team, that's what we'll do.
How do you make out this comment? Pat Cummins should captain KKR.
Oh, my God. No. But
then there's another option. Somebody's saying they should try Shubman Gill as the captain.
That's not a bad move. That's not a bad move.
He has not captained much at under 19 level as well. Prithvi Shaw was his captain in under 19, I think.
But Gill was vice captain.
I think, yeah.
And Gill's, why not? Why not? I can't see anything wrong with that.
But you can't really see Pat Cummins doing that job.
No, I don't think he will. You need him. It's funny because he just got the role as a captain in one match for New South Wales here in Australia, a token positioning, if you know what I mean. He's not really captained much in his career, to be honest. He's a lovely bloke, very nice talker, very good guy, but no. Opening bowlers as captains. Tell me a successful opening bowler who was a captain. Give me a name.
Who? Sorry?
A successful opening bowler as a captain.
See, for Delhi, I think Zaheer Khan was the captain in one season, but he wasn't as successful. He's struggling.
He's struggling. Okay.
Heat streak.
Who?
Heat streak for Zimbabwe. He was the captain, isn't it?
He's also been banned for 6 years or something. I think so. I don't know. That's a bad.
Kapil Dev.
You know what? You're struggling.
Kapil Dev.
Sorry, you're struggling. Okay. If you were telling me heat streak, I mean, the reality is there's no one. Okay, you couldn't find someone. Huh?
Kapil Dev.
Yeah, but he was an all-rounder in the true sense of the word. Okay? That's Pat Cummins is not Kapil Dev. Okay?
Somebody just said, Norman, why are you against your own Aussies, mate?
I'm not against all Aussies at all. I'm a big fan of a guy that's not in the side, Jason Sanger. I love Simon Kadich. I love the way that Ponting is there coaching. I love Trevor Bayliss. Kaddish, absolutely. No, I'm not. I loved Warner when he was batting freely and not a captain. Okay, but clearly Warner's ticked off the management, hasn't he?
But see, you were saying about Pat Cummins not being a captain material, but the other day I told you right on the podcast, Justin Langer actually said Pat Cummins could be one of the captain options for Australia moving forward.
He won't be. Okay, it's nothing against Pat Cummins at all. He's a bowler that needs to concentrate on his bowling. Okay, and he has had very little experience of captaincy. So you don't become captain of your country as your first ever captaincy role. You get my point? That's garbage. Graham Smith was captain when he was born. Okay, Alan Border, Steve Waugh, these people were ready-made captains. So no. You need to be captain at all. Really, you've got to be captain. Come on, you're a cricketer throughout your life, and you've never captained, but you captain your country. Where's the logic of that?
So after Finch and Tim Payne, who do you see as a successor?
Well, Finch is going to be there for a while, and so is Tim Payne. Tim Payne, it's very unlikely that you'll see Tim Payne not captain the Ashes, because when Justin Langer's in charge, he's going to put Tim Payne, he's going to support Tim Payne. And he made it public. He made it very clear publicly. He said, when Steve Smith said he's going to be captain himself publicly, Justin Langer says, no one's told me, we don't need him. Okay? He wouldn't be saying that this close to an Ashes series at the end of the year. No. Who's next captain? It's a great question. There's probably going to have to be like a Curtis Patterson, who's played for Australia, who's captain New South Wales recently. I mean, I would have put Usman Khawaja back in. Really, there's quite a few.
Do you see Alex Carey as an option?
In the short format? Yeah, not the test format.
Yeah, short format.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
What about Labuschagne?
No, he hasn't captained at any level. At any level, under 12s, under 6s, anywhere. What the hell? He's Steve Smith's puppy dog, and he annoys everybody. If you hear Andrew Simons and Shane Warne publicly on air bagging him and then realizing they were heard, they get annoyed by him.
Do you also get annoyed by him?
Yeah. I mean, he's batted well, and look, I'm not knocking his batting. He's batted very, very well. He's done everything asked of him. But when he starts having 4 or 5 failures on the trot, I want to see him recover from that. Then I'll believe he's a good batsman. Ponting, Clark, a lot of players came back from adversity and batted well. He were even dropped. Steve Waugh was dropped when he's early on. So you need to have that setback to come back from that. And that's where Labuschagne's had it all go his way. We've not seen him struggle yet. So when he does, which he will, his comeback will be the making of him.
See, this is not a comment that I like. Somebody just said Norman is biased.
I don't think the guy understands. Ashok Tatani doesn't understand what the word means because he's contradicting himself. Norman says it as it is. Norman is unbiased. He says it as it is.
Yeah, probably he didn't use the right word.
No. I think he means that I am unbiased.
By the way, Rajasthan also signed a new player from South Africa. He was in the Under-19 World Cup in 2018.
That's the guy that got a few days ago, haven't they?
No. They signed Rassie van der Dusen earlier, and now they've signed a young 20-year-old bloke from South Africa. I don't remember the name, but he bowls at high 140s and he can bat a bit down the order.
Is it Marco Jensen's brother?
No. Somebody could actually right now tell us maybe if they know it. I think it's Gerard Cordsey, something like that.
Right. Well, that's I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of players being plucked out of obscurity and put into from other countries. From India, of course, you've got your domestic league, you've got every right to do that. But when, like, there's been a few players that have been anyway. They've got these scouts. They've got these people who are scouts running around finding these players. So, we're judging off someone who's a scout. And I'm not always convinced the scouts are the best picks of it, to be honest. The real picks are the ones that are in the main body. All right.
But I mean, I'm just thinking if they've signed him now, he'll probably come in a couple of days and then a 10-day quarantine. That will already be 2 weeks. So when will he play?
I don't know. I mean, it won't matter. Rajasthan Royals are gone. SRH are gone. KKR are gone unless they do something very soon. Punjab Kings is the only one that you would argue has a chance. And after that, with Mumbai Indians today, they're going to make sure they're not out of the four, and the other three are already in. So those bottom four sides, the team that's going to, if they're going to squeeze away, has to win every single game, and that's not going to happen.
Do you think Pooran finally will get dropped and David Malan will come in?
Well, they got little choice, haven't they? They've got to do something. It's disgraceful. If it's true that they've got him to block him from going somewhere else, it's disgraceful. They need to be fined, or they need to be something needs to be. They need to have one player less next season. Something has to happen dramatically to stop them doing this. There's no doubt that Malan's been bought not to play. There's no doubt. Okay? The number one player in the world for a certain brand of cricket not being given a game is just rubbish.
Yeah.
If you're selected, if you've got a team sheet of players, you go to the stats, you see number one in. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And tomorrow, I think Delhi also might bring in Henrik Nortje finally.
Yeah, but he was a different kettle of fish. He has gone through a quarantine. In all fairness, he was on the back foot from the start, wasn't he? And and I don't blame them for not putting him in. He wasn't held back. He was in previous years used, so no, he wasn't. He's not been bought to not be used. Put it that way.
So if he comes in, would it be Stoinis or Steve Smith to go out?
Stoinis has been very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
Somebody on my stream was saying that you could rest Rabada for a game or two and bring in Nortje in place of him.
That's not a bad idea. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that for sure, because they're both underdone, and it looks like it's a bit like a Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson style thing, a little bit. I get that. McGiddy won't be playing again. I'll tell you that now. He shouldn't be selected again. That was so bad. He shouldn't be selected again. Not this late in the piece. He blew it.
CSK has been trying to find out that sort of a bowler for them. Do you remember, like in yesteryears, how CSK had Doug Bollinger, they had Bell Hilfinos. So they had that one bowler who would always be reliable. And since Bollinger and Hilfinos went away, they have struggled to find somebody like that.
Well, Berendorf's the one.
Hopefully, yeah.
Berendorf's a very, very honest bowler, very good bowler.
Yeah, actually, Hazel would have been one as well if he hadn't pulled out.
Yeah, of course, but he pulled out, so
yeah,
it can't be discussed. Yeah, they're saying if a bowler's a good death bowler, they don't bowl an over of full tosses. Okay, really.
I don't agree that Ngidi has been good for South Africa as well in T20s. I mean, he has been a good bowler for them in Test matches, but not in white ball. I think.
I agree.
Somebody saying Pollard has silenced you, Keshav. As I said yesterday, CSK cannot beat MI. That's not true. CSK. I mean, I would have understood if you would have said this. Maybe if CSK would have lost like a one-sided game, but the game was decided on the last ball. So you can't say CSK cannot beat Mumbai. On other day, I mean, if Faf would have taken the catch, then it was CSK's game.
Yeah, I mean, but Rayudu won't score again. Won't score a performance like. I don't think. Not knocking him, but I don't think he'll do that again.
Yeah.
It was one of his good days. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
after that catch, it showed that even the best of the best can, falter under pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And ironically, Faf got the catch of the match award for the catch he took to get Hardik Pandya out. So he got catch of the match and also drop of the match.
The main thing about this match, which is the most impressive, is Pollard. Okay, the way Pollard plays shows that Mumbai have got a great chance in this tournament. Because if a person like that can go on and do what he did, and he can do it many, many times over many, many years, when it counts the most, it's significant.
How do you see Jimmy Neesham coming in?
Well, I mean, for God's sake, he faced one ball and he always hit a six. So had that been a six, he's good. He's actually good. I like him. He's got the right attitude. He would be someone that's worthy of being on the team. So,
but I mean, I don't think that MI has done way too much experiment with that third option, because they first started with Marco Jensen, then they went to Adam Mill, then they went to Coulter-Nile, and then they've gone to Neesham now. I mean, they're not giving everyone a regular amount of games.
Oh, they're probably just giving them all. Probably, in all fairness, they probably realise that they need to give them a go. I don't think they're necessarily chopping and changing for anything that's wrong. I think they're actually saying, right, guys, we're going to all give you a go at flexing your muscles, not because one's better than the other, just give them all a chance.
But then, I mean, Coulter-Nile was dropped after just one game, isn't it? I mean, is that enough?
To be honest with you, Nathan Coulter-Nile hasn't played well for a long, long, long time, whereas Jimmy Neesham has. So, but out of respect to giving Coulter-Nile, I go first with an ultimatum saying perform. He was given a bit of an ultimatum. Anyway, Nathan Coulter-Nile is not the answer. I think Jimmy Neesham is. He can do what he did today, even though it was one ball. He could. Look, that was a great shot. Just a pity that he found.
But he's more of a batting all-rounder, isn't it? I mean, you cannot really depend upon his bowling.
Oh, he can bowl very well. He's got some very good performance for New Zealand. Don't worry. He's got quality there. Jimmy Neesham was pretty damn good. New Zealand realised the quality of him for sure.
We'll see.
Anyway, yeah, I need to get. I was going to get my laptop. I'll get you to answer a question while I'm away. That's fine. I don't know whether this is a fair comment. What's Kane Williamson, for God's sake? Kane Williamson's everywhere, my God. Kane Williamson, stop putting your comments. Hang on. We haven't got too many good comments now. Some better comments, guys. What's Hitesh Basi saying? What's that last one?
He's talking about the money he had actually put on and he won because he had put money on MI.
Oh, didn't you back CSK too, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I did back CSK.
Yeah. They didn't win, by the way. Just let you know they didn't win.
Last ball finish, you can't be that pessimistic.
We always call out at football games or cricket games. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard.
They are yet to play one more time.
The scoreboard doesn't have writing in like a bubble that comes out. Maybe it should. Like a WhatsApp page. Maybe the scoreboard could go. But he was dropped on 12 and he did this in 34 and no. That would actually be a fun. You know what? There you go. We've found an app that we should create together. An app that shows a scorecard, but the reality is in the bubbles.
Yeah, good idea. But
actually, can you imagine how much fun that would be?
Yeah, that would be. Because people see, just like we were talking, nobody's talking about Moeen and Faf getting a 50 as well. So same way nobody will talk about the cash that was dropped.
But can you imagine having a scorebook which tells the underlying truth about certain players. Like Warner scored 50, but he's just said this about players before the game. Sack him. I reckon that would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
That'll be that would be an amusing thumbnail or an amusing video to put together. Maybe someone like what's his name? Jared Kemper. I should be talking to him about that. But I reckon that the best video would be videos of the dugout. A CSK, not CSK, a SRH dugout or a KKR dugout. And then compare it to a, say, Mumbai Indians dugout and a RCB dugout and what they do.
You should give this idea to Jared. Let's see what he says about it.
And the other one was, I mean, really, the way Punt sits right next to Ponting everywhere he goes, because Punt knows he's hearing some quality stuff and he's learning and he's ready to learn.
How do you see this comment? This guy said, "I can't believe Dhoni did not bowl Moeen in the last over." I mean, for last over to just 16 to defend, I don't think Moeen would have been a good option.
Anyone would have been a better option than Nagiti. I'm sorry. You're bowling full tosses on leg stump. What do you expect? I mean,
Probably.
really, if it's your last over bowling, whether you want to try and bowl Yorkers or not, the last thing you should be doing is bowling full tosses on leg stump. Maybe one may slip, but not the rest.
Do you think that was because of Dew as well? Like the ball was slipping out of his hand?
No. One ball maybe, but not the whole over. No. If you had a ball which slipped, you get your hands wiped, you get the ball wiped, and then bowl. So no, I don't agree. All right, okay. I want you to. I'm going to get my laptop for a minute. Where's that question? Okay. All right. He's having a go at you, by the way.
I know. Yeah, I agree that hindsight is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, you have to understand that there are moments in the game that can actually change everything in a matter of few seconds. So if Faf would have taken that catch, do you believe that players coming afterwards, like who came? Dhaval Kulkarni came, or I don't know who was left behind, because Nisham had also gotten out later on. So I don't think those guys would have finished the game. So does Pollard's experience actually that came handy for them. And the other thing which I wanted to talk about is after a game like that, I mean, even if MI would have lost it, or now that Chennai has lost it on the last ball. So Norman, this is a question for you.
Hang on, I mean, keep talking. I'm listening.
Yeah. So my point is, I mean, big teams, especially like CSK or MI, I don't think they'll push the panic button on a loss like that, because both the teams.
No way.
Because both the teams fought till the end. It wasn't a one-sided loss.
Oh no, CSK are in the top three. They're a big chance. There's no question of that. There's no doubt that's going to happen. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
CSK, DC, Mumbai Indians and RCB are all capable of winning this now, which makes it exciting.
I think the only thing which CSK will be concerned about is their death bowling and the ability to defend scores.
But so they know that they made a mistake today and they're going to rectify it. Okay.
Yeah, but the way to rectify it is to drop Ngidi and bring either Berendorf or Bravo. And who knows, they might even drop Shardul Thakur and bring in a leg spinner, Karan Sharma.
Yeah. Mark my words, Thakur will do it when he most needs to.
Well, he needed to today.
Well,
although you can argue that it was his bowling only when Faf dropped the catch, so he could have got him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit harsh to be saying that. No, I think a lot of Thakur, I think he and Washington are starting to prove themselves in Australia, and they continue to do so. Maybe a bit off at the moment, but still a long way to go, as we always say. Now, let's have a look here. I've got to change something.
Somebody's asking any words on the last ball's field placement. I mean, I've genuinely thought that it might go to a super over because he just dragged it down to long on, and I thought there's a run out coming, but it wasn't to be.
No, that's right. It wasn't to be, all right. It's okay. I'm just changing something on a date. I suppose that I have all these Aussie mates of mine that are meant to join me later today, but they haven't, so that's right. All right, so in terms of this, okay. So Kieran Pollard, how much money do we know how much he was on? Because he was retained, wasn't he? He wasn't in the auction.
I think he's being paid around 11 or 12 crore.
How much did Pat Cummins get paid?
15.
Well, there you go. Pollard needs to be paid more. How much does it? What's the crore again? Can you tell me compared to Australian dollars?
1 crore is usually like.
Well, 54 crores. 54 crores is 9.5 million. I know that much because I had to find out how much.
You want me to change it into Australian dollars?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do it on Google.
Well, I said 54 crores equals 9.5 million.
How much you want me to tell you? How much Pat Cummins got?
Just you've said how much Pollard's getting.
Okay.
Realistically, what divided by? It looks like.
So Pollard's getting around 2 million Australian dollars.
Right. Which I think is pretty good. If he gets paid that for 10 years, he's made 20 million, hasn't he? After tax, about 10. But then on top of that, they get paid endorsements, don't they? Like other companies would give them money. Is that right?
Sorry, I was just reading the comments. People are saying, how come you don't know how much it is? How can I know how much is the currency exchange between Indian rupees and Australian dollars?
Okay. The point is, it's about $1 Australian dollars is equal to 5.6, whatever's below a crore, a rupee. I'm not sure. I know. Yeah, it's a hard one because if 54 crores equals 9.5 million, and that's the stat. It's not just.
So I just saw. So $1 Australian dollar is equal to 57 Indian rupees.
Okay. And how many rupees in a crore?
1 second.
I get it now. I have an idea what it is. So effectively, we're looking at a situation where he's getting paid, say, 2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
But then on top of that 2 million, other companies would pay him directly for fees for their advertising of whatever. There's the team's advertising, and then he would probably go on TV and do a betting company commercial or something or whatever he does to get more money. And appearances. He'd be invited to dinners outside of the Mumbai Indians bubble, and he'd get paid a lot of money to be there. It'd be a lot of money. I'm pretty sure the money they get in auction, the 2 million or whatever crores, you can almost double that for other things they do, I bet.
Yeah. So 1 crore Indian rupees equals to 174,000 Australian dollars.
1 crore.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty good money. But they're not just getting that. That's almost like their retainer, isn't it? That's like a retainer. That's what the minimum they get. They get more from. I'm sure I'm sure they get match bat bonuses if they play well. If they get man of the matches, if they win a tournament, they'll get more, won't they?
Yeah, even the winning title for IPL, I think, is 20 crore, if I'm not wrong. So that's also quite a big amount of money.
Yeah, I'm sure they get a part of that as well. So their money. I mean,
No,
look at this.
I don't think players get a part of the winning title. That all goes to franchisee.
But the club will sling them money. Come on. I'm pretty sure. They'll buy them houses and whatever else they do. For sure. I'm just looking at. Yes. It's one of those games that it's going to go down in one of the best games I've seen for a long time in the IPL. Yeah, agreed. Normal double as their salaries is what they get after endorsements. There's no doubt that crores amount that you're talking about is a baseline.
Just think if this would have gone to Super Over, I mean, it would have been way more fun.
Well, it went very close, didn't it? It went very close. But it doesn't matter. They won.
Yeah. Were you supporting MI?
I in my pre-match discussions, I said MI, yes. Because I think MI had more hunger, and they did. They proved it. They had more hunger. Hunger.
When CSK got 2-1-8, did you still back them to chase it down?
No, not necessarily. I thought that was going to be hard. And at various stages of the match, when they were 50 off 24 balls or something, or 70 off whatever balls, it looked pretty much like it was going to be hard. But Pollard was still there. We knew that. So,
Norman, do you see PSL is a question?
Yeah, I've seen. I've got players in there that I know very well, like Harris Ralph and Usman Kadir. They're both very, very good friends of mine. And Lahore Qalandars, when Lahore Qalandars come to Sydney, I've had a lot to do with their coach and management. They had the guy from New Zealand. What was his name? Who was the bearded middle order batter for New Zealand? Who what's his name? Good looking chap.
Now?
Huh?
He's in the team right now?
No, he's not. He was at the last World Cup. He hit the winning runs in the match in Auckland against South Africa.
Grant Elliott.
Yeah, he's someone I know very well. I remember meeting up with him, and he was with the Lahore Qalandars at that time. And the coach of the Lahore Qalandars, who's the ex bowler from Pakistan, I've forgotten his. I'm too sleepy to remember names today. But the guy that's the current Lahore Qalandars coach.
Akib Javed.
Yes, I know them both very well. And he told me the story at length of how they picked. You know the story, don't you? What Lahore Qalandars did. Do you know what happened?
No.
Okay. They announced on social media that they wanted to see anyone that wants to play cricket, no matter whether you played no games or many games or any level, come and join us. They opened up a huge stadium. They opened up certain doors of the gates and said, this is a batter's door, a bowler's door, a fielder's door, a keeper's door, whatever door. Players would come through. They came out of the mountains, literally. So raw bone, young kids came through. They gave them a cricket ball. They had a speed camera. I said, go on, bowl. Batting gear, go on bat. And they just found the best players. And there was this one guy, Harris Ralph, who walked in, who'd never held a proper cricket ball in his life. He only ever had a tape ball from the woods or wherever he was. First delivery was over 150 kilometres per hour. And they were gobsmacked. They grabbed him and said, right, we're going to take you on. And then he ended up playing in Australia for one of my local cricket teams. All four of them did actually. We won the semi-final and final, not the final, semi-final and quarter-final, and then the next game I'm playing the final, and they're not on my side; they're in the opposition side because they play with Pakistani. It was really funny, and I got really upset, jokingly. I said, "What the hell are you playing for them for?" Oh, but they offered their friends anyway. So they would. Can you imagine being found out that way? Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, that's. I think they, if I'm not wrong, Lahore Qalandars, they run the biggest talent finding campaign in Pakistan, and they have. I think they have auditioned over 100,000 people so far. So that's amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what they do. They get the stadium, open the doors, and they throw them through the doors, and they come in there, give them the ball, and off they go. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Okay, here's a difficult one for you. Somebody asked who's better, Pollard or AB de Villiers?
Oh, I mean, de Villiers is probably better, to be honest with you. But today, Pollard ruled, didn't he? Who's a scarier batsman to bowl to? I would say Pollard. But AB de Villiers is probably the most consistent at that end situation, whereas Pollard on occasion may have gotten out skying a ball. Who knows? You know, but de Villiers, we'll have to wait and see this season, won't we? When they both of those two players, if they're in a final or something, it'll be interesting to see what actually happens because it may well be there.
Actually, so it was de Villiers in the opening game of the IPL this year who chased down 160 against MI.
Right. Well, they got those last two matches where they got all four playing, so it's going to be very interesting indeed. All right, I think I'm going to have to call it quits. I'm just about to conk. I think I can feel myself going smash into the computer in a minute if I don't watch it. We don't want that happening. So
somebody asked prediction for tomorrow's game. So what do you say about that?
We'll do that. Okay. The first one, who cares? Sorry. Rajasthan Royals for Sunrise Hyderabad. If Warner's not playing, I'll say SRH. I mean, you'd have to think SRH, I guess. Because if they don't win, they're not going to play anymore anyway. So,
yeah.
Okay, now, where's the next game?
I think the next one is Delhi versus Punjab at Ahmedabad.
Delhi will win that.
Okay, so I'll pick SRH as well for the first one, and for the night game, I'll pick Punjab.
Why?
I just feel that they have found a bit of mojo now, especially Rahul batted in the last game like the old Rahul we know. And if Malan comes in that middle order, that'll give Rahul a bit more freedom because he'll know that even if I get out early on, there's somebody to stabilize things. So hopefully they drop Pooran tomorrow.
Well, we've been saying that for a while, haven't we? He got 4 or 5 ducks.
4 ducks, and do you think Meredith will play tomorrow? I mean, he got a bit of injury scare in the last game, isn't it?
Yeah, they could well just put Richardson there. Maybe they're going to rotate them now. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? Put it this way, they're not going to win. I don't think.
Here's a good one. If CSK bought Krishnappa Gautam for more than 9 crores, why is he not getting a place in the playing 11? We know that CSK is playing better, but still he should get some chance to prove the tag.
I agree. Of course.
But where would you fit him?
What?
Where would you fit him in the 11, Krishnappa Gautam?
I don't know. I mean, that's their job to find out where you put him. It's when you shuffle so much, I can say all sorts of things, but I don't know what's in their mind. But if you want to get something into play, well then, who's like for like? Who's like for like in that sense?
Like for like is actually Moeen Ali, but if they have to drop, maybe Shardul Thakur, just give him a bit of time, give him a kick in the back for one game, then maybe they can bring him. And because even if they drop Shardul, they'll still have three pacers, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. I mean,
You are a Shardul fan.
I think Shardul's still got the quality to be there when it's most needed, and that's what you need. And that's what the team thinks, obviously, as well. Really.
Yeah. Somebody just asked you, Norman, what time is it in your side?
6:27 a.m. We've been on air for almost an hour and a half. In fact, now I've been on air for 2.5 hours, and so have you. So, how long did your show go for?
Sorry?
How long did your show go for?
My show, 45 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I think we just doubled that.
Yeah.
I know we have good conversation. I'm a bit annoyed that Chris couldn't come and Devassus couldn't come and Shapali couldn't come and Amanda couldn't come. And another guy called Gil, who I wanted to bring on too. He's very good. But that's all right. We can't have people on every day. I'm not disappointed. You seem to be okay because you are up at this time. This is your time of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, it's not.
Are you doing the day stream tomorrow because it's a double header?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Anisha, yeah. And then we got 4 sessions tomorrow. It's pretty heavy. Plus, I'm a guest on the Delhi Capitals live something or other.
Okay.
They've obviously picked me as a Delhi Capitals fan, obviously.
But on your channel, how many streams tomorrow?
2, 3.
3. When is this? Which is the second one?
Well, the one after the game, one before, which is the one with Anisha, and I may do another one because of the double header. I'm thinking about where I do that. Yeah, it may be short because what I didn't do last time was I didn't actually do the. It's a friend of mine. I better answer it. All right. Oh, hang on, just give me a second.
भाई अब नॉर्मन म्यूट पे है तो मैं जरा हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ. टोपी लगाओ, खुजली तो होगी.
Okay, what I was saying to you was, what was I saying about what I didn't do last time was give a team toss and teams decisions on players for the last game, and that was remiss of me. So I may go on quickly and do that. We'll see. I'm looking forward to Kane Willis captaining freely. He'll make a difference, but SRH have to win every single match, and that's not going to happen.
Not necessarily every single match. Out of 8, I think if they win 6, that should be.
They're 4 games behind the top 4. So no, they have to win every game.
They have 1 out of 6, isn't it?
Well, they're on 2 points.
Yeah, 1 out of 6. So for qualification, you need at least 14 points. So that means 7 wins. So they need 6 out of the next 8. So I don't think even with Williamson, they can achieve that now.
Yeah, but that means the top 4 have to get less than 14.
Yeah, right? That's there. Plus, I think.
But the top 4 have to win 2 more games each and one that win 3. It's very unlikely that those sides will not win 2 to 3 matches each. Okay.
Yeah, that's there, but
it'll need SRH to win all 8 to have a real chance. Okay. Because getting 14 will not cut it because the other sides have already got 10. So they're going to get 14 very easily, and so no. SH need to win 8, 7 perhaps, but more likely 8, or all of them.
So Norman will be your guest tomorrow. Somebody asked you.
Oh well, David Gravely will probably be on. Chris will be on. Both Adam Holyoke and The earlier show, Adam Holyoak and or Monty will be on. I might try for some others, but I'm not pushing my people too much because we've still got 30 odd games to go. So, you know, I want to keep a lot of good people for the end, obviously, because that's when you'll get most traction.
And I hope you'll be able to take some time out soon for my channel as well for one video.
Well, what time though?
We could just record it. I won't be doing live. I'll just record it in the video.
If we record it, that's fine. But if it's live, it's going to be hard because of the extra time commitments for sure. So, and
I'll record with Jared also. I recorded, so usually I record.
Yeah. What platform did you record on?
Zoom.
Yeah. I like StreamYard, but I don't think you can record. You can only go live, I think.
Somebody just asked you, where is Upala? Who is Upala?
Pretty. She's busy doing Academy Award stuff. And I can't push them. They've been on so many times over so long. They know the routine. They get the messages from me every day. Come on. I'm not going to go beyond that. So they'll come on.
Okay, I think we should call it a day now.
Yep, of course. All right, guys. So this is Norman Kosnick, who needs to sleep, who's been on for an hour and a half. We need to get this some. I can see daylight out there. I'm not going down to the shops today. It's a Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually had my morning little breakfast with a bunch of guys at the local coffee shop, which you sent a video of, and they're really good. They all get involved, and I want to have that just go live, just us talking, not prepared, just normal chat. It'd be great. All right. So all the best. Yeah. Please view, like, and share. Would you guys please share this on your WhatsApp? Get other people to see it, other people to subscribe, not just simply rely on us pushing you. Send you if you like the show, tell 10 of your friends. I'm sure they'll like to hear about it more too. Just word of mouth and your recommendation goes a long way. So subscribe.
And also go to my channel and subscribe it as well.
Yes, of course.
Because there are a lot of, I think most of the people here are from India. So they will understand Hindi music, which I do primarily. So if they can go and check out some of my songs, who knows? I mean, they would like it.
Well, you should get you need to put maybe the @ see how I got the @ you need to, I know it's the same name, but you need to say that.
Sorry, what?
You need to advertise where your name is on the bottom.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, but you don't say that. You just say your name. So you need to say @Keshu. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell them in Hindi. अगर तुम लोग को मेरा चैनल देखना है तो ये नाम सर्च कर लोगे तो मेरा चैनल मिल जाएगा YouTube पे. वहां पे तुम्हें म्यूजिक भी मिलेगा, सिनेमा मिलेगा, पॉडकास्ट, क्रिकेट सब मिलेगा. तो प्लीज जाओ और सब्सक्राइब कर लो यार.
I mean, they asked me to do. I did do good videos before. I still do good videos now. Have a look at them. And, and Kane Williamson, stop asking. Give him two sentences quickly.
I think because he was writing in Hindi before, so I'll probably sing a Hindi song for him. Okay, can you hear it? तो ये गाना केन विलियमसन जैसे लोगों के लिए जो यहाँ पे कमेंट्स लिखते हैं कि इसको छेड़ते हैं केशव को या नॉर्मन को छेड़ते हैं लेकिन हमारे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, तो ये गाना उन लोगों के लिए. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं बीत न जाए रहना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे. So that was a song. Norman, know you didn't understand, but maybe you enjoyed the piano and the.
Of course, I like the melody and the tune. Of course.
So the song meant it was for people like Kane Williamson and Chris Vernon fan club. It meant let people say whatever they want to say. Just don't take those things seriously and waste your time.
Exactly. Enjoy. Ask questions. We'll answer as many as we can. But more importantly, share it to people. Get other people to watch this too, because there's plenty of your friends that would like to see it if you let them know. All right. Okay. Thanks, Keshav. I'll let you go now. This is Norman Constant from Eyes on Cricket. We'll get back to each other very soon. Doubleheader tomorrow. Who are the two teams? Rajasthan Royals versus SRH and Delhi Capitals versus Rajasthan Royals. Okay. All right. Take care.
Good night.
All right, all the best. Ciao, ciao.